My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. The exemplary person that we'll be talking with this evening is Mr. Patrick Makowicz. He's the manager of the Energy Efficiency and Major Accounts with Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas. Good evening, Patrick.
Thank you.
We're very happy that you've taken time from your busy schedule and literally your busy schedule to be with us on the Community Forum to enlighten the people of Lake County. I say Lake County, but this program will be aired in the city of Chicago also. Our program airs in Kenosha County, but you don't have activity in Kenosha County.
No, Lake County and the city of Chicago.
Fantastic. So I would ask my guests to call a friend and call a family member, because this is going to be an exciting program, and you'll be interested in ways in saving energy and saving money, and so this is what it's all about these days. Patrick, first of all, I'd like to thank our producer, Bernadette Johnson, had it not been for her, this show would not have been possible. Fantastic job. So thank you, Bernadette. And Zoe Bodger, she's your outreach coordinator. She was at the city council meeting in North Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and I found it very interesting, so I got involved in the energy program myself, and matter of fact, I've had the energy savings people in my home just last week. And so we're going to be talking about the things that they've done, and hopefully the things that other people in Lake County and the listening audience will be interested in. But first of all, I'd like for you, Patrick, to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Okay. I've been with the Integris Energy Group for over 33 years.
Wow.
So Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas are two of the utilities that are part of that holding company. In addition to Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas, we also have Wisconsin Public Service in Wisconsin, the Minnesota Energy Resources Group over in Minnesota, and Michigan Gas Utilities. Mm-hmm. I started, like I said, 33 years ago. As a mechanical engineer, a degreed engineer out of the University of Wisconsin, Madison. Mm-hmm. Spent the first 12 years of my career in nuclear power, and then from there moved into customer service, did some work on gas extensions when we expanded the service territory in other parts of our service territory. I've been involved in mergers and acquisitions when we acquired the utilities in Michigan and Minnesota, as well as here in Illinois. Mm-hmm. So the customer service group and mechanical engineering background kind of lended itself well to working into the energy efficiency arena, and also overseeing the work that we do with some of our larger customers in both of those service territories.
Patrick, in finishing high school, and this is just in case we have a lot of youth listening to this program, what piqued your interest in engineering? I know my son went to the University of Illinois. He graduated in electrical engineering, and his background was he's highly skilled in math, you know, in which he didn't get it from me, of course, calculus and geometry and so forth, you know. But for some reason he went to engineering. I don't know why. Maybe it's a recommendation of one of his teachers. I don't know. But what about you? What piqued your interest in engineering?
Well, I was always interested in math and sciences, and always did pretty well in those courses, and was always curious about how things worked and why they worked. So it just seemed like a good fit. But also with an engineering degree, you can literally do anything with that. But the one thing, for those of you high school students that have that in mind, the main recommendation I would have for you is, in addition to those math and science and engineering classes, take as many English classes, writing classes, speaking classes as you can, because you can have the best ideas and you can be the smartest person out there, but if you can't communicate them, it's going to be a struggle. So take as many of those as you can along the way.
Fantastic. Well, what piqued your interest in engineering from high school?
Well, I talked to people that were working in the industry and tried to learn more about what they did and what they liked about the job that they were in and what they didn't like about it. And to me, you know, as I mentioned earlier, there's literally countless career paths that you can take with it. You're not necessarily stuck in engineering, not that that's a bad thing, but with, you know, with what I'm doing now, one of the things that I really like about it is the variety. No 2 days are alike. There's a lot of interaction with other stakeholders. I do a lot of the interface work with the Attorney General's office here in Illinois, with City of Chicago officials, with the Environmental Law and Policy Center, with the Citizens Utility Board. You know, it's just the variety of the work, being able to combine the technical aspects of it along with the people aspects of it. It's been a great ride, and you know, I've been blessed. I've had a lot of different careers, but all with the same company, and it's been a really neat experience.
This is fantastic. Well, I'm sure there's. I have a few areas that I'd like to cover with you, but I do have some areas that citizens have given me, so I will be asking you questions. Although this is taped, it's not live, but it's going to be just like it's live because the citizens have given me questions for me to ask you. And one is, the first one is to tell our listening audience about North Shore Gas.
Well, North Shore Gas serves 54 communities in Lake County. We've been in business for 115 years, and we have approximately 159,000 residential and business customers.
Now, there's Peoples Gas, too, though. What's the connection there?
So Peoples Gas is the regulated natural gas utility that serves the city of Chicago proper. I think our customer count there is right around 840,000 residential and commercial, industrial customers.
Wow. Well, tell us about energy efficiency.
Well, energy efficiency really is using less energy to produce the same result. So the best example of that I could give you is, like, if you have an older home, and you know, in our service territory there's a lot of older housing stock out there. A lot of them don't have sufficient attic insulation. So let's say you heat your home, you kept it at 68 degrees with the insulation that was originally there. If you install more attic insulation, your energy bill will go down. You'll use less energy, but you'll still be able to maintain that home at 68 degrees. Similar thing would be with a high efficient furnace. You know, if you have an older home, chances are that furnace is maybe 80% efficient. The models today are 92 to 95% efficient. So just by replacing that furnace, you'll use less energy to maintain the home at the temperature that you're comfortable with.
And the citizens or taxpayers are encouraged to update their furnaces and keep them, get them checked.
Well, a couple things. With the program that you participated in, it's called the Home Energy Jumpstart Program, and it's kind of our gateway program or introduction, a way to introduce customers to energy efficiency, where we'll send 2 technicians out to your house, and they will install energy efficient faucet aerators, shower heads. They'll install a programmable thermostat. They'll put insulation on your hot water piping, and all of this is free and no obligation. And in that process, they'll also take a look at your gas furnace, gas water heater if you have one, and give you an idea of what condition it's in, how efficient it is, and also inform you of the rebates that are available through our program today should you decide to replace it. Now, a lot of people wait until the furnace fails or until the water heater fails until they put the new one in. And that's not uncommon. That's 99.9% of them probably happen that way, but regardless of when or how you make that decision, we just want you to know that there are incentives out there if you go with a high efficient model, and there's more information online on how to access that. As
I mentioned at the top of the program, Zoe Bodger, she's outreach coordinator, and that's why she was at the North Chicago City Council explaining the services there. And some of the aldermen stated that they had benefited from the services, so I thought I would try it. So I thought I would have you, explain what they did in my home for the listening audience.
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, when they come into your home, they'll replace your faucet aerators, like on your kitchen sink and your bathroom sink, with this type of aerator. So they unscrew the old one, put this one on. It uses less water, but comes out at a higher pressure. So in most cases, you won't even notice any difference. But you're saving water, and in addition to that, if you're using hot water, because you're saving water, you're also saving the energy because you're using less water. So this is the kitchen faucet aerator. It's a little bit bigger. And again, there's pictures of all these on our website as well. I mentioned the shower head. So this is called a low volume, high pressure shower head. Again, it uses less water, but you really shouldn't notice any difference between the one that you have in your home today. And for those of you that have a handheld version, we also have those available too, so that there's no need to give up your handheld version. If you currently have one, they will replace it with the more energy efficient version of that. In addition to that, if you do not have a programmable thermostat to control your furnace, they will also install the programmable thermostat. And with the thermostat, you can actually set this so that the furnace comes on maybe a half hour before you get out of bed in the morning, and then it'll automatically take the temperature back down at night. You set it for whatever time you want it to do, and you can set it. You can have different settings for weekdays versus weekends. And then the other thing that they'll do when they're out there is they will wrap your hot water pipes with insulation. So again, right now, you're losing a lot of that. If your pipes are not insulated, you're losing a lot of that heat that's in that water just to the air in your house. So again, wrapping it with this insulation improves the efficiency of it.
Now, in addition to community forum, how do you, and I guess with Ms. Bodner coming out too, but how do you market the program?
Before we go there, I'd like to ask you a question because we appreciate your participation. You participated in the Home Energy Jumpstart program here in North Shore. How did that work out for you? Were you happy with the work that was done, and how are these working for you?
Yeah, I was very satisfied with the two installers that came in. They came aboard and told us what they were going to do, and I was excited about it. They went all the way through the basement, the first floor, and the second floor, changing the light bulbs and the thermostat. And I was excited about the thermostat. It's programmable, and he showed me how to set it for one setting at night and one setting during the day, automatically come on and so forth. And I thought that I would have to use a lot of water in showering. I was wasting a lot of water showering. And this gonna save me a lot of water, by using the new faucets that he put on. So I was very excited about it, and also I think he told me about because my furnace, I had a furnace put in about 2 months ago, I guess, 95% efficient, and he showed me how I could get rebatable. You got a rebatable program too, which I haven't taken advantage of it yet. As a matter of fact, I called today, and I could go online or either get hard copy there, and of course a lot of information that they asked for the model numbers and a lot of things on the furnace and so forth, And he spoke about maybe up to $300 rebate I could get on that, and I was excited about that too,
Yep. So there's rebates available for furnaces, boilers, and water heaters right now through our residential programs and through our multifamily program too. So if you're a renter or a landlord or a multifamily property owner, there's programs and incentives for available for you as well.
You mentioned about renters. Renters can take advantage of it also?
Well, they need to work through their landlord, because typically for an apartment building per se, we like to work through the manager, because when we set up appointments, he'll work with the tenants to pick a day for the people that are interested that works best, and we'll try to send a crew out and do the whole building at one time if we can.
Okay, right.
So just one more question though, when the technicians were out at your house, how much time were they actually there with you? How long did it take from start to finish?
Approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay.
To go through it. I have a 4-bedroom home, in the basement and all. And they worked very good, very professional and so forth, There were two, one took care of one area, one took care of the other. So it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Great.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you what, since you asked for that, only one problem I had, the time-wise, and I guess they had no choice, between 12 and 5 was the time. But I guess and I talked with him about that if he could let me know maybe a couple hours before he get there, so I wouldn't have to wait the whole time, 12 to 5, until he got there. Because he got there about 3, this type of thing,
Yeah, what drives that is they don't necessarily know how long each appointment is going to take, depending on what needs to be done and how big the household is and that type of thing. But I will take that feedback.
Very fantastic. Well, another question I have from my audience here is, as a manager of energy efficiency, what are some of your responsibilities with North Shore Gas?
Well, primary responsibilities involve overseeing the development of the strategies and the business plans associated with our energy efficiency program, and then in addition to that, ensuring that those are implemented throughout our service territory. Mm-hmm. So, I mentioned earlier, we literally do have something for everyone, whether you're a single-family homeowner, multifamily building, a small commercial, or a large industrial customer that uses natural gas in your processes. So I mentioned the Home Energy Jumpstart program, which is kind of our introduction to energy efficiency. The next step are the rebates that we have for the furnaces and the water heaters. For small businesses and multifamily, a lot of those have centralized boilers for their heating. There's rebates available for those as well. And then for their larger industrial customers that use natural gas in some of their processes, we actually have engineering advisors that can come out to their facility and take a look at their operation and come up with ideas on how they might become more energy efficient.
Mm-hmm. How did this come about? I know we pay for it, it's on our bill, so we might as well take advantage of it. But there's a small price there on the bill that covers this, right?
Right. The programs are a result of Illinois legislation. Okay. So the electric utilities began their energy efficiency programs, I believe, in 2008. Or 2009. So they're about 3 years ahead of the gas utilities. And then the gas utility legislation was passed in 2009. Requiring the gas utility to implement their program starting in 2011. So we've been at this for just over 3 years now, and we have energy saving goals, gas saving goals that are required by the legislation as well. So as part of that, we hired a contractor that has expertise in this area, and they've worked with us to develop the programs, and they are actually the technicians that are out there in the field working for us and doing that good work. Now, one thing that customers should know, though, is that all of the people involved in our program that are out in the field have a photo ID badge.
Yes.
And it not only does it have the contractor logo on it, but it also has either Peoples Gas or North Shore Gas, depending on the service territory that they're in. And you mentioned that they also replaced the light bulbs with compact fluorescent bulbs. So this direct install program, or Home Energy Jumpstart program, is a joint program with ComEd. We collaborate and cooperate on that, And we provide the natural gas measures, and ComEd provides the compact fluorescent bulbs. So it's really a joint effort with them to help our customers save energy across the board, gas and electric.
All the bulbs except the fluorescent.
Right. It's the incandescent bulbs that they replace with the CFLs.
Also, you're overseeing all aspects of energy efficient programs, utilities, commercial and industrial accounts. You have,
Right.
The management functions, right?
Basically overseeing all, working with the contractor to determine how we're going to best meet the needs of the market. One of the things that we did is we conducted a market study to try to identify what measures and what types of things we should offer with our program in order to achieve our goals. In other words, where's the biggest gaps that our customers have with energy efficiency today? And that was a key input in determining what rebates we would offer and what engineering assistance we would offer to our larger customers.
Okay. I've looked at the North Shore Gas website and saw several energy efficient programs for residential and business customers. You have a good fix on how residential customers can save. Can you give an example of how a business saves?
Sure. One of our largest customers here in the North Shore Gas territory is Roquette America. So Roquette America is a subsidiary of the Roquette Group, and they're an international company that produces starch and starch derivatives. And the facility here in Gurnee produces sorbitol, which is a sweetener that's used in sugar-free products like chewing gum. Well, part of the process uses heated air. And when we went out, or when our engineering group team went out and took a look at their process, the heated air was run through the process one time and then exhausted out. And we did a reheat, or we worked with them to design a system that would recapture and recycle some of this heat. And it was I'm oversimplifying the description of it, but as a result of that project, they are saving over 120,000 therms per year. Wow. So the incentive that they received for the project was $216,000. So those are the types of things that are available for our larger customers. A lot of them are not even aware that they are paying in for this program. So when you show them their bill, and it's like, wow, we need to figure out how we can tap into that and take advantage of it. And there are ways. I mean, we have experienced people that have been working in energy efficiency for quite a while. And if we can get our foot in the door, almost every time we're going to be able to identify opportunities to help those customers save energy.
You mentioned this is the program is about 3 years old.
Right. We just finished our third year. Okay,
and then you mentioned about the state got involved in passing a.
That's what started the programs. They require all electric and gas utilities in Illinois to have energy efficiency programs.
Yes. And really, it's really benefiting the customers, really.
It's a great benefit for customers. It's a way for them to save energy, save money, and it's good for the environment.
Okay.
The other thing is the energy efficiency industry is a growing industry. There are more and more states that are passing legislation requiring those programs. So these are good high-tech jobs for people that are looking for opportunities. You mentioned high school students before.
Yeah.
An area right now that is booming with jobs and employment opportunities is energy efficiency. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a career choice.
This is fantastic. This is quite involved here. I'm going to take a little time. There's a great incentive for business customers who can receive savings in rebates as well as reduction in therm usage. I think you covered that pretty well. You may want to enlarge upon it. let's go back to our residential customers. You know, there's a lot of programs that you offer for multi-unit buildings, condo association, and homeowners. In that you look for the owner of the because and once the owner sees this, he's going to really get excited about it because it's quite a bit of saving in a multi-unit building and condos. Right?
Right, and a lot of times with the multifamily buildings, it's a centralized boiler that heats the whole building. So if that building owner or landlord or manager can create some excitement with their tenants to get involved with this program, there's some significant savings to be achieved.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I like to say that as a North Shore Gas customer and homeowner, I recently took advantage of the Home Energy Jumpstart program, which installs free energy, saving equipment inside your home. Who doesn't like free stuff? Just tell our listeners about it. And you talked about the Jumpstart program, and I think you may want to emphasize how with that they get rebates also, and everybody looking for rebates, I guess.
Sure, and again, people can't believe that we're doing this program for free and there's no charge and there's no obligation. But you know, just with these shower heads alone, a customer could save approximately $50 a year on their natural gas bill due to the energy savings associated with this. With the faucet aerators, bathroom and kitchen faucet aerators, savings there can range from $10 to $15 per year. Again, because of the water savings and the savings of energy as a result of using less water. So again, these are free. The customer doesn't have to do anything else. But like with you, when the technicians were out there, they will take a look at your furnace and water heater and let you know how they're doing. Hopefully give you a guess on how much life is left in them, so that if they are going to expire soon, these programs are there, rebates are available to help you pay for the new furnace or the water heater or other improvements.
That's what the rebate is actually primarily to assist. Because fortunately, I had a furnace only 2 years old. It was 95% efficient, but the life of furnaces are different from each home we go into, right? And they will give technical assistance, technical advice on the customers really looking at this because of safety.
That's a good point. But typically, the average life of a residential furnace is 20 to 25 years. But some of that is dependent on how well it was maintained as well. So what we recommend is you change your furnace filters monthly if you can, because if those filters get clogged up, your furnace is going to have to work harder to heat your home. We recommend that you get that furnace maintained and checked up annually so that the burners are burning properly. If the burners aren't burning right, you're probably burning more gas than what you need to get the heat out of it to keep that home at whatever temperature you desire. The other thing is, you know, touching on safety, is that every home should have a carbon monoxide detector. If you don't have one, get one. I believe Illinois state law requires you to have one, and it really is for your own good. Carbon monoxide is a tasteless, odorless, colorless gas, and if you have a problem, if you have incomplete combustion, or you have like a common cause is a cracked heat exchanger on your furnace, if you have that type of situation, carbon monoxide can get to dangerous levels that can cause sickness, and worst case scenario, it can cause death. So get that carbon monoxide detector and make sure it's working properly. Just like your smoke detector, change those batteries every 6 months. It's for your own good and for your own safety.
What about a percentage of customers that have taken advantage of this program? Is it?
Well, in North Shore Gas territory, through the first 3 years of the program, we've saved a total, the customers have saved a total of 5 million therms. So that's enough natural gas to heat 5,000 homes for a year. And in North Shore Gas service territory, customers have received over $8 million in incentives and rebates. So participation has far exceeded our expectations, which is great, and we'd like to see more people take advantage of that. Now, in Peoples Gas territory, I think the number is much higher. I think we're on 27 million therms of savings there. And again, participation has been great, and we need more. I mean, we have goals we have to meet, and it's good for customers, it saves you energy, it saves you money, and again, it's good for the environment.
You were telling me about Uniting Wisconsin. How prevalent is North Shore and Peoples Gas in this area?
Compared to the programs in Wisconsin?
Well, you don't have, you say you're not in.
Well, we don't.
But how prevalent is North Shore Gas and Peoples in the area? This is Chicago and Lake County.
Well, with North Shore Gas, we serve 54 communities in Lake County.
Okay.
So total customers are just over 159,000 customers. And then Peoples Gas serves the city of Chicago. So I think we have around 840,000 customers there.
Wow, wow, wow. So actually, it's getting the word out there, and you have a lot of area to cover then. Do you do TV, commercials?
You know, we don't do a lot of TV advertising. You'll hear some radio advertising for us, but we've really focused more on grassroots community type events like the one that you were at. Certainly we have a lot of the detailed information available on our websites, www.peoplesgasdelivery.com and northshoregasdelivery.com. But in addition to that, we have a bill insert every month called the Customer Connection. So periodically you'll see information about our energy efficiency programs there, as well as other energy saving tips. But again, a lot of it is through community outreach. We have an event coming up this weekend in the city of Waukegan called Team HEAT. And HEAT stands for Heat Energy Assistance Together. Okay. And we get a list of senior citizens and low-income customers that could use some additional assistance. So we have employee volunteers that are anxious to do this every year, and they will go out to that list of customers and install the plastic sheeting over their windows. Okay. They'll caulk around windows and doors, install weather stripping, and we've been doing this for 11 years now. And a new dimension for that we're adding this year is we're actually sending the energy team technicians along, and in these homes at the same time, we're also installing the home energy jumpstart measures, the faucet aerators and the shower heads and programmable thermostat and the heat rep. And that's really been, we found that to be very effective and not very costly to get out there and attend these community events, make people aware of that, and our best advertisement is customers that have participated in the program.
Tell me this though, how excited, like I'm excited here about the program. How excited are customers about the program when they get it?
Well, again, a lot of them can't.
Feedback.
A lot of them can't believe these are free,
right.
And you know that alone is exciting for them. And then on the residential side, you know, a lot of customers without the rebate wouldn't go with a higher efficient furnace because the 80% is less expensive. So this rebate kind of helps them bridge that gap in price and push them into the higher efficient purchase, which in the long run is better off for everybody. On the industrial side, a lot of these projects wouldn't move forward for these customers without the incentive payments because, you know, for larger customers, it's all about payback. So the energy that they save, they want that savings to pay back their whatever investment they have. A lot of times it's 18 months. Sometimes it goes up to 3 years. So again, these incentives that we are offering help push customers into making that energy efficient decision.
And what you're not benefiting from the contractors, right? In other words, that's separate from you, from your...
Right. Customers, like on the residential side, when they need the furnace replaced, they can pick whatever contractor they want. And then some of the contractors or trade allies are more active in the training sessions that we offer. So some may be more adept at helping the customer through the process.
Okay.
But the forms really are not that hard to fill out. You know, as you mentioned, they're available online, or you can do hard copy and mail it in. You know, whatever works best for you.
In other words, I like the slogan, you've got power to save, right?
You've got power to save, and we have money to help.
Okay. Yeah, and you got ideas to help.
Can I mention one other thing on the outreach aspect of it?
Okay.
So this fall, we are launching a brand new educational program called Super Savers. And it's a program directed at fifth grade students. And again, it's going to be launched at a few of those schools in the next month or so. And what they get a kit that has a lot of these same items in it, the direct install items. And it's kind of a science project and an energy savings project. And it's the kids help educating mom on energy efficiency too. So what they do with these kits is they actually take them home and they measure the water flow with the current shower head and faucets that they have at home, and then they change them out. There's instruction, and it's not hard to put these in. So there's instructions on how to do that. They put the new ones in, and then they measure the amount of water over the same period of time as with the old one, and then they calculate not only the water savings but also the energy savings. So it's a way to increase awareness about energy efficiency with the younger generation that's coming up. And that really is the best way to change how people think about it, is to educate them at a young age when they're developing all those habits. But it's also a way to get them plugged in and helping educate mom and dad at home about it too. And there's information in this packet about the other programs that we offer. So hopefully it increases awareness and participation in those as well. So we're pretty excited about that. It's brand new to us and Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas territory, and we're anxious to get that going and get feedback from the teachers and from the students and from our customers.
Patrick, do you carry this excitement in your home? Or your wife and kids excited about it?
Well, it's just me.
Okay.
But I'm excited about it, you know, because I've been involved in the program development from the ground up. I mean, this is brand new for Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas just 4 years ago when the legislation was passed, or 5 years ago. So it's been exciting for me to watch it grow, to get more customers engaged, to see success stories from our customers. You know, we talked about Roquette a little bit earlier. Not uncommon for larger companies like this to have competitions within their different facilities. And a lot of them have facilities outside of our service territory. So with Roquette, you know, with the $216,000 check, we actually did a big check presentation, and they used it as a photo op. And then when they had their corporate meeting where representation from all over the world were there, they made a point of taking the big check on the plane with them and tell this success story to you know, all of their counterparts across their company. So that's really exciting too, because you know, we provide the service and we provide the incentives, but these are success stories that people within our customers really should be proud of and take credit for, because without them taking the initiative and agreeing to participate, it wouldn't happen.
Well, what about leisure time activities? Do you get a chance to play golf?
Oh, sure. I'm not very good, but I like to play. And I just over a year ago, I purchased a lake vacation home up in northern Wisconsin. So I do a little boating, a little biking, golfing. My son bought a snowmobile, so he's trying to get me into that. The other thing I do for fun is my son is actually a head high school football coach up in Wisconsin. So I try to get to as many of those games as I can. And my daughter is married and lives in Denver, and they have my only grandchild so far. So Charlie turned 2 last month, and it's always exciting to get together with him, and they grow so fast. But
Right, right.
it's
What
fun.
about teamwork? You have a staff, or you got a? I know you probably do. It's not a one-man.
Well, we have
team.
a small internal staff.
Okay.
You know, I mentioned I have the major accounts group as well. So
Okay.
we have 2 account executives that serve our largest customers in Peoples Gas territory, and we have 1 account executive in North Shore. And then I have a leader that those account executives report to. And then I also have an analyst in the group that helps with the accounting and the invoicing and all that. But for the most part, the energy efficiency program is contracted out from program development to program implementation. But I oversee that contract. And then there's an Illinois stakeholder advisory group that consists of CUB, the Attorney General's Office, the Environmental Law and Policy Center, the City of Chicago, and they provide input to our program. So a lot of the work that I do is also interfacing with those groups and trying to address their concerns and incorporate their needs or preferences into the program whenever and however we can.
So it's not a dull moment in the office, right?
No 2 days are alike, but I like that.
Right. So when you go in, you don't know what's
Sometimes when
open.
that phone rings, you don't know what's happening on the other end, and until
you know,
the talking starts.
you're really involved too. You're the National Governors Association Policy Academy for Energy Efficiency. That's a long title there, but it's a big job.
Well, it was a temporary initiative.
Okay.
5 states were selected to participate on the National Governors Academy for Energy Efficiency, and the primary motive behind that was to try to figure out how to get industrial customers to participate more. And one of the main things that group was looking at were incentives for combined heat and power. So a lot of these larger customers use natural gas to generate hot water or steam for heating as well as for processes. So there are things that can be done to improve the efficiency of a combined heat and power system like that. So again, that initiative was intended to look into that to see how we might be able to offer that as an energy efficient measure.
The percentage of your time involved in traveling?
Traveling is mostly local within our service territory, but I'm also on the Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance, and that's headquartered right in Chicago, but they do a lot of policy work regarding energy efficiency across the Midwest, from the Dakotas all the way down to Kentucky and everywhere in between. So, you know, there's quarterly meetings involved with that, and sometimes those are outside the state, but it's usually within that footprint, though, of the Midwest itself.
Okay, we're looking at the Illinois Energy Education Council.
The Illinois Education Council does a lot of work, primarily like at the state fair and other events throughout the state, county fairs, and working with the utilities to find ways to promote energy efficiency. So they will coordinate booths for utilities to be there to talk about their programs. They also are into electric cars, that whole spectrum of not just natural gas and electricity, but literally everything involving it. Renewable power would be another example, solar energy.
Yeah, I have here Retrofit Chicago Steering Committee.
Retrofit Chicago is spearheaded by the City of Chicago. They have a goal to try to make Chicago the greenest, largest metropolitan area in the U.S. And they try to leverage the utility program offerings to help in that regard. So because of that, you know, I participate with them in some of their steering committee meetings and working with them on best ways to promote the programs. They actually have their own goals for retrofitting homes within the Chicago area to make them more efficient. So we work together with them. They help us with our goals, and we help them with their goals. So that also has been a real good collaborative effort.
You mentioned this program is the incentive of the state, another gas company, don't you?
Well, the incentives are through the utility, but each utility has their own goals that they need to achieve. So each utility has their own program.
Is this one that Patrick Quinn was involved in? Because he's involved in utility before he became governor, you know, because he's an activist in the state about utilities, same utilities.
Well, he had to sign the bill for the legislation to go through.
But I mean,
and
even before he became governor, he was active.
He's been supportive of those efforts.
Okay, well, you know, you mentioned that you oversee all aspects of energy efficiency programs, right? All aspects, and you mentioned utilities, commercial and industrial. Have industrial accounts, have they been excited about you coming in?
They have been, you know.
I'm sure. I mentioned that. I'm sure they have because it's energy savings. So
well, it's money saving. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and it's not costing them anything. Yes.
Yeah, so what we've done, so like the largest 135, 140 customers within Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas service territory have an assigned account executive. You know, I talked about those earlier. So they're part of my group. We've used them to introduce the programs to those largest customers because really that's where the biggest savings are available.
Okay.
So the account executive provides a program overview and then brings in an energy advisor from our contractor to try to do a deeper dive to identify opportunities and what might be available, what savings are available, what incentives are available.
I mentioned the producer, Bernadette Johnson, but she must be a great asset to you then, right?
Well, Bonnie works in our media relations group.
Oh,
and
okay.
She does a lot of the prep work for this. So
no wonder I didn't. I know she was the media. I could almost guess that's what she was. Yeah.
So she did a lot of the legwork in helping to put this together and briefing me and preparing me because this is the first TV show interview I've done. So.
Well, you've done very well in promulgating the information. The Navy used the word promulgate information to the public, you know. And I'm just wanting to check to see how receptive. Zoe Biger was in North Chicago. How receptive? Do you have any input on how the city of North Chicago has been receptive? Participating.
Things have gone well. I mean, Zoe does a great job of getting connected with decision makers and people that have the ability to draw larger groups of people together. Because that is the best way to create awareness about the program in a group setting. You know, you try to do it one-on-one, you're never going to get it done.
Right,
so, and as I mentioned earlier, once we get those people engaged, it seems like they kind of spread the word for us, and that has worked real well.
Well, we haven't given up on you yet about getting the word out because Bernadette Johnson has also arranged for you to be on the radio program. Because I won't have you come out for the radio show. We can do it telephonically.
Okay.
So
that'd be great.
Were you in Chicago?
Yes.
You're in Chicago, so expect a call. I think she's getting it set up for us.
I think it's on my calendar already.
I think maybe you're right. So it may be next week. I don't know.
I think it's the 24th.
Okay. She got you well informed there, you know. Now, I just want to get the public just a comment or two about, you said it's always been Peoples Gas and North Shore Gas, is that right?
Right.
So I thought that was a joint effort.
No, I mean, even though both of those utilities were acquired by the Integris Group about 7 years ago,
Okay.
we have maintained the local utility name and branding because that's what the customers have a connection to, and we didn't want to lose that.
Okay, okay. Where do you expect this program to be, say, 5 years from now? It's been 5 years, well, 3 years.
And
you mentioned, right?
we just finished our third year.
Okay.
So, I mean, the goals continue to grow.
Okay.
They increase every year. The problem is the budget is capped. So
Okay.
we're going to have to figure out how to continue to squeeze even more savings with the same amount of money that we have. So that's our ongoing challenge. But I'm happy to report that we exceeded the goals in both territories for the first 3 years, and we have a pretty good start on program year 4, which we're in the middle of right now. So we're optimistic that even though the challenge is going to increase, that we're going to give it our best and get it done.
Mm-hmm. This is fantastic. And there's you can see a budget amount, a certain percentage is allowed for the program. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, it's the budget is capped at 2% of the utility revenue.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, right.
so and we did not hit that cap in the first 3 years. I'm very proud to say that. So,
Right, this is fantastic. Well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the program, but before we go, is there anything that you would like to tell us about North Shore Gas, natural gas saving program?
well, for the customers that have not participated yet, please check us out online for more information, or I have the phone number too. We have a dedicated call center just for our energy efficiency programs. If I could give that out now, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, and we may show it on the screen too.
Okay, the number is 855
Okay.
849 8928. So the other thing I'd like to add, though, is that even if you can't participate in our program,
Okay.
there's other things you can do to save energy.
Okay.
We mentioned turning back the thermostat. The EPA recommends that you keep your thermostat at 68 when you're home and moving about, and turn it down to 60 at night when you're in bed, turn it down to 60 degrees when you're away for the weekend or away on vacation. Your water heater doesn't need to be set any higher than 120 degrees. If you have it set higher than that, you're wasting energy.
Okay.
So check on that. If you have rooms in your house that are not occupied or not used, close the door, shut off the heating vent. There's a lot of little things like that you can do that all add up.
Well, you've done a great job in providing information to our customers, our listening audience, save energy and at the same time, saving money too,
And it's good for the environment.
Right. Okay, I thank you very much, and for taking time from your busy schedule again to come. So we mentioned about until your budget. I know what one question I had is that would you find more participation in say a wealthy community than a community that's not wealthy, maybe like a North Chicago and so forth?
No.
And I mention that because I would think that even though your wealthy communities, they probably have already got energy saving, as part of their the lifestyle, I guess, right?
I think it may be a little bit of an easier sell because they have more disposable income to make that higher investment in energy efficiency. But we've seen good participation across all neighborhoods, which is quite impressive.
And think about that again. They may be unaware of the energy saving too, because I noticed when I started use less water, and the heating, I hadn't even thought about it. I was using too much heat, it didn't have to have all that heat, But if they're shown that they're going to save energy, save the environment, and save money also, and they will participate. I'm just thinking about the communities that are not wealthy probably would not be aware of a lot of these cost savings.
But that's why we try to tap into the aldermen and the city officials to help us get the word out.
Okay.
And that's been very effective.
Okay, this is fantastic. So you're welcome, and you got a friend all over.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having us on today to spread the word.
Well, thank you very much for taking time again for spreading the word, because it's very important. Anytime you talk about saving, then you're always welcome, because here you got a win-win situation. You got energy, and you got the environment, and also finance.
I'd be happy to come back anytime. We need customers to continue to participate.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to you on the 24th, right?
Very good.
Expect a call from me.
Very good.
Thank you very much, and you have a great trip back to Chicago.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you again.